Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 4th episode of Clickmates featuring Sam,
George,
and Jarick.
Jarick is our guest today. Part of our goal when we started this was actually to interview different people, and it just so happened that Hannah was featured the last 2 times. She will be recurring on this, but today we have our first, or I guess second proper interview. Our special guest here, Jarick. He's a good friend of ours.
Actually, the joke is I'm actually Hannah in disguise. There is no nude guest. It's just this is how it is.
You are my girlfriend.
Yes.
we kept this hidden from you, actually. I knew about this. We both knew about this.
It's a long-winded prank. And
it's a social experiment.
We knew that we were going to reveal it on a podcast in the future. From the very beginning.
How long have you been planning this?
Years.
Decades?
2019, I'd say.
2019.
Yeah.
Wow. Before I knew her. Okay. Well, welcome to the podcast, Jarick.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
It is. It's a pleasure to have you here. Fingers crossed, oh my god, that you can actually watch this episode this time. I freed up the space on my phone. If it stops recording, I'm gonna break it. I swear to God. So, I'll go and check in like half an hour to make sure that's still there.
And maybe it'll have stopped, and then we'll get really sad, and we'll be crying for like an hour.
And we'll just give up.
But hopefully, at least maybe some good clips will be filmed, and we'd be able to get something from it.
Yeah. Speaking of good clips, I did upload 2 clips from the last episode of TikTok, one of which now has like 8,000 something views.
Rookie numbers.
I may have done a slight TikTok promotion on it. Not a lot of money. It's like $40, but you know, most views I've ever gotten on anything now. So you know, that's cool.
TikTok does love podcasts. I see a bunch of podcasts on my For You page.
So TikTok's been pretty easy enough to figure out. You know, you upload something that's eye-catching or just interesting, and people will watch it, and then it gets sent to more people. But for the life of me, I can't figure out Twitter. I don't know how that app works.
It doesn't.
It doesn't, I guess.
I'm an old Twitter master, so maybe I can help.
Really?
You out with that, yeah.
Can you help us? We have 1 follower. It's a classic rock guitar page.
Yeah, no, I might be able to help you guys out. Let me run your guys' Twitter page. I'll run your guys' Twitter page.
Is this our first business deal? 3-way shake on it? You shaking on this, George?
All right. Twitter page.
All right, and it's in video too. Awesome. We have our first social media consultant. We'll work on that later. Mm-hmm. But how should we start this off tonight, I wonder?
So I think we should start off.
Yeah.
By discussing taxes.
Oh.
Can we discuss death instead?
Can we not talk about... I don't want to think about taxes till next year. Thank you.
Yeah, we've already got that done for this year, George.
Wait, we were supposed to have that done right now? Okay, so I just have to bring this up. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen, but some guy on Wall Street Bets essentially put out a call for 999,999,999 lots worth of Tesla stock, and you know, what was the term that you said? You know way more about stocks than I do.
They were option calls, so it's actually much worse than that because it was 100 times that in actual shares.
So I punched that into my calculator, and it gave me a number with you know, an E.
Oh no!
So that's never good. So
this person is either now the most indebted person to ever live, or this is a prank.
So there's only 3 options that happen. Well, there's actually 4.
There's actually 999,999,999
So,
options.
like Sam said, it's either a joke. The guy was never serious. 2, the broker
is in serious trouble.
No, I was going to say the broker realizes what's happening and is like, no, this isn't. No.
Yeah.
3, this dude cheats the system. This isn't going to happen. He cheats the system and he gets a mass payout of, get this, 86,974,999,913. Oh my God! No.
If that was the case, this person would be able to buy the United States.
You know, every time I hear someone doing like a little hack like that, I think back to my childhood when I bought the little Game Boy expander, the thing
my God.
the thing you can put the actual game into, and then you can get a bunch of glitches on games. And I remember just getting it for Pokemon and loading up my rare candies. That's what I imagine when I think about that.
Dude, when I think gaming the system, I think about the time when I was, oh God, I think I was like 12 or 13 when GTA 5 came out.
Oh my God. I can't believe that.
And like,
we were tweens. And
like, I forget what it was, because I didn't get it like right when it launched. I think I got it like after Christmas. It was after some holiday or something. Maybe I don't even remember, honestly. But I had a bunch of GameStop gift cards because of this. And so I walked into GameStop with my parents. And I deadass said to the employee behind the counter, like, yo, can I have GTA 5? and again, I'm like
12.
I'm like 12. And the cashier is just like, and like she takes the game out and she goes to like hand it over to me, but then she like looks at my parents and it's like, just so you know, this is like a really fucked up game.
They had to do that.
And then I know they
had
had
to
to
do
do
it. Every time I went to GameStop, I always wanted the rated M games. The employees always be like to my parents, like, you know, you really shouldn't be playing this,
the
right?
thing that's ridiculous is that like a year prior, my parents like let me get like MW3, pick it up like in GameStop.
I don't care,
because at the counter, the cashier that time said like, oh, it's basically just like shooting. There's like barely anything else.
Yeah.
Maybe some smoking and maybe some swearing, but it's basically just shooting people. And my parents were like, oh, terrific. But then with GTA, it's like, oh, there's like drugs, there's gambling, there's nudity.
Yeah, I remember.
Prostitution.
Yeah, I remember with GTA. I didn't get GTA 5 at GameStop, but I did get GTA 4. And my mom, and they were telling my mom about this, and she's looking at me, she's like, you played this with friends? She's like, this is okay? Because the guy was talking about like, oh yeah, you can like get prostitutes and they're strippers and all that. And my mom looks at me and I'm like, it's okay, Mom, that's optional. You don't have to do that.
But basically,
I wouldn't do that, I swear.
My big brain play
Mom, I swear.
boiled down to, my parents said no. And I said, damn. And I'm like, okay. And the cashier took the game back, and I'm like, And I'm like looking around, like pretending like I want to pick something else up. But then I just walked over, and I bought like $60, $70 worth of like Microsoft gift cards.
Okay.
And then I got home and I bought it digitally, and it was the most proud I was up to that point in my life,
Fist
probably.
Bump.
I don't know if that
Bump,
deserves
yes.
a fist bump necessarily,
No,
but I was
you
just like,
cheated
no,
the
I'm
system.
playing that game,
You
dude.
cheated the system. I'm not sure if you guys played GTA 5 when it first came out though. You could have bought it, but you weren't playing it the first day it came out.
I remember
You had to download it, and then after you downloaded it, it was glitchy. It was bad.
Yeah, I remember it didn't work for like the first 3 days or
you
something,
had to wait
right?
for the update to come out.
And dude, wasn't it like especially bad with like online?
Online didn't come out at drop. It came
out a year after.
It came out like a while afterwards.
I think
I'm
like
looking this up out of curiosity.
first person mode and online, I think both came out with the next gen
No.
version of like PS4 and
Online
Xbox
was
One.
on 360, but it wasn't on for long before the next generation of consoles came out.
It was literally 2 weeks after launch. GTA 5
Yeah,
launched
yeah,
September 17th,
I was 12.
2013.
Forgive me for
Yeah.
misremembering.
I think you're remembering
And the 1st of October
the
it went
PC
online.
version of it, which didn't come out for like 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
after the game came out. So
Yeah, that came out I think the year after the next gen version. Now, I don't know if you guys can relate to this like me, but beyond maybe even GameStop or like Game Informer magazine, which I used to have a subscription to, the biggest door that like was open to me for me to discover different video games was actually Redbox, of all things.
Redbox.
Did you use Redbox?
I never used Redbox.
You've never used it?
not at all.
I'm about to send y'all way back.
Ooh.
Send me back. I miss Redbox.
Gamefly.
Yeah.
Yo.
Oh, I've never actually used Gamefly.
Gamefly, if y'all remember, Netflix used to be sending discs to your door. It wasn't streaming. It used to be sending discs to your door. And Gamefly came out around the same time. It didn't get as much traction as Netflix did.
I remember the ads
seeing
for
the
it.
TV commercials.
Yeah,
all
they
the
had them
time.
a lot.
They had a lot of them. And now they're just now trying to get into video game streaming. We'll see if that catches on.
Yeah, like Google Stadia. And I think like isn't PlayStation doing that with PlayStation Now as well?
I remember PS4 they had like a bunch of classics. Like I streamed Sly Cooper 2 and it was laggy. It was laggy.
Remember when Google
'Cause you
Stadia
don't-
came out and it was terrible,
'Cause-
and they like have to give up on it?
Because when you stream it, you don't gotta download it.
Mm-hmm.
You can like no space is needed, but because of that,
That's crazy.
It's laggy. It's bad. It's,
Dude, that doesn't sound like a good trade-off at all.
no, it's not. It's unplayable. So there is really no product there. But if it ever gets better, it could be like revolutionary.
And you said that was just with like Sly Cooper.
That was with Sly Cooper.
Imagine trying to like do that with like a modern game like Red Dead Redemption or.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I tried doing it with this one racing game. I don't remember what it was. It was like an off-roading racing game, and it didn't work at all. It didn't play.
I'm just imagining like ghost cars, the cars like falling through the map.
But I'm gonna track back to Redbox.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So, picture it's
A red box.
I'm picturing a box that is red.
Picture 2012,
It's not a
And-
blue box.
and you're
not the Target.
outside a Walmart superstore, or just any Walmart, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they still have them there.
Yeah, they do.
And you see the red box sitting out there, and you're like, mom, like, can I get one? And this is back in the good old days when it was like $1 a day, I think. I miss that. $1 a day for a game. The main game I remember getting for this, and I got a lot of games on Redbox. That's actually the only time actually that I've ever played Modern Warfare 3 was I rented it through Redbox for 2 days, beat the campaign, and I was like, I don't need this anymore.
You're really
and I took it
just
back.
gonna
Oh,
disrespect
and-
one of my favorite CODs.
and Black Ops 2. I didn't even beat Black Ops 2. I kept it for 1 day, and then we gave it back because my parents were like, we want to return it.
That's the best Call of Duty ever made.
So I've heard, but I'll never know. But the game that I'll remember the most for Redbox, and I will eternally thank Redbox until my dying day for this.
You say something stupid, so help me.
It's not stupid, I swear. Redbox is actually how I was introduced to the Elder Scrolls series.
Okay.
I discovered Skyrim through Redbox.
That's fair.
I had no idea what Skyrim or the Elder Scrolls at all were. I didn't know who Bethesda was, the company behind it. I think I had heard of Fallout. It was around the same time, Fallout and Skyrim for me, but I don't remember which one was first. My first Fallout was Fallout 3. That I actually discovered through browsing the Xbox 360 Microsoft store, and I saw the trailer for it, and I was like blown away. I was like, whoa!
Yeah.
Yeah, with the I don't want to set the world on fire and like the
Yeah.
train. You remember that one?
Yeah, Fallout 3 was my first one.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I feel like I had a crazy experience because New Vegas was my first one, and New Vegas is probably
Best
like the
one.
most far removed from like
Best one.
It's probably the best one. I always have a soft spot for 3, but Fallout.
because like
Me too, but New Vegas, so good.
I knew literally nothing about the game, so the fact that I booted up and the first thing I see is some dude blows my brains out.
No, it's Chandler from Friends blows
Blowing
your brains out.
and then he just shoves you in a ditch.
Nothing personal, kid.
And I'm like,
Laugh track.
is that me? Did I just die?
Game over.
I thought this was supposed to be
Game
like
over.
a post-apocalyptic, and sure, there was some weird stuff, but it's not like there's superpowers and reincarnation, and then it's like, oh, you lived, and you wake up, and there's some shanty doctor in some shanty town.
Mm-hmm. So I have since we're talking about Redbox, I'll briefly go over my first and I think only Redbox experience as far as games go. Actually, a Bethesda game too. It was Dishonored.
Huh.
Ooh.
Dishonored.
I discovered that through Redbox as well.
Yeah. I like Dishonored.
I never beat it.
It took me a while to get into it, but once you get into it, I still think it's one of the better like first-person parkour games. We don't have a lot, but
I still intend to play Dishonored 2.
I never actually finished it or played it again after Redbox, and I never
so fun.
really, honestly, hot take, I never really got into it that much. I just wasn't feeling it.
I ended up getting it because I think there was some deal. It might have been on Xbox Games for Gold or something. And I might have gotten it for free. But oh my, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah,
the beginning of the
so
game is a bunch of games I played before.
Yes.
If I remember correctly, the plot is you just returned from doing something in some
Yeah.
faraway land, and you're going to see the princess or the queen or something, and then
Yeah.
you're framed for
I'm gonna check
an
the camera
attempted
still on.
assassination, murder, whatever.
yeah, you're framed for the murder.
You're thrown in jail, and then the rest of the game goes from there. But in the beginning of the game, it plays relatively normal, and by the end of the game, you can use like supernatural abilities to like summon rat swarms.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I mean it's great, but Sam said that he wasn't really feeling it. I was listening to the early episodes of the podcast, and you said you weren't really feeling Bloodborne. And you remember what you said was the reason why?
No.
He said he didn't really like the whole Victorian.
Oh
thing
yeah,
with
that
it.
shit got me tense,
And what
dude.
I see the correlation because Dishonored is
also Victorian.
Victorian.
Now, personally,
Is that a coincidence, or do you think that was?
I don't
want
want to. I don't want to say I'm
Was it-
racist towards the Victorian era.
ageist.
I'm ageist to all those people that don't exist anymore. I don't know. I mean, there's aspects of Victorian era I like, but now that I think about it, none of my favorite media takes place in the Victorian era.
it's so weird to me because the Victorian era is one of my favorite like time periods.
That's where all steampunk takes place.
That, like, I love it so much.
I like
dude.
steampunk as much as the next guy, but again, I'm not crazy about it. I'm more interested in like the Renaissance than steampunk.
Honestly,
Like, you know, for me, it's like, you know, it's Assassin's Creed 2 instead of Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I'm gonna eat that
Well,
shit
yeah,
up. I'm gonna love.
Syndicate was garbage though.
yeah.
That was
Maybe that was a bad example, but I'm talking about the time period.
Nah, dude, Assassin's Creed Unity at launch.
Oh my god.
Oh, but Unity. Honestly, I went back and played Unity. It has the best parkour. out of all
Unity's
games.
fun.
Yeah,
But
I've
when it
heard that
first
going
came
back.
out-
Not since it's been fixed. Unity is like one of the best ones.
It was
now.
like it was also one of the selling games on like the new generation of consoles or the old new generation.
It also actually had fun co-op for an Assassin's Creed game.
Let me see if I can turn off notifications.
Maybe. I'm gonna keep going anyway. So, damn it, I just lost my train of thought.
You said good co-op.
Oh yeah, like it was just so fun to run it through with my like online friends back in the day, and there'd be multiple assassins running around. And I'd be like, shit, they spotted me, and my friend would like leap off the balcony and like throw down a smoke bomb, and it was just so chaotic. It turned what was normally supposed to just be like, you know, purely stealth focused, which I'm gonna admit, I'm not the biggest fan of stealth.
Me neither. I'm right there with you.
I don't like stealth, and
I'm the running gun guy.
and because of that, to this day, I've never played any of the mainline Metal Gear games.
When
Me neither.
When I was younger, I really hated stealth, only because I was bad at it. Now
Yeah.
that I'm older and I'm a little, I can, my motor skills are a bit better. I can pull off stealth a little bit better, and it's a little bit more enjoyable for me.
When I was a kid, I didn't like stealth because I didn't understand it, and I was bored. Now that I'm an adult, I don't like stealth because I don't like it, and I'm bored.
You see,
I just prefer to shoot the thing.
my thing
or stab the
is
thing.
that I have never been a patient person. If I have to, like recently, for the first time, and by recently I mean like a year or two ago now, I finally went through and played through the Batman Arkham franchise, and like half of the game is stealth in all of those.
Yeah.
But I did it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't like that difficult for me to do. But stealth has never been a part of a game where I'm like, oh, cool.
I can't wait for this stealth mission.
It depends for me what game it is. For example, Hitman, I'm gonna be stealthy. If it's an action game, like when the main focus of the game is stealth, I'm gonna be stealthy. If it's an action game with a stealth option, usually action. For example, Spider-Man PS4, there was a stealth option, but I always just went in and beat everybody
Because it's more fun.
because it's more fun.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to stick on video games for the whole episode. We do have some other things we want to touch on.
Real quick, I just want to bring up one quick thing. So,
Yeah, that's cool.
you guys brought up Redbox and GameFly.
Yes.
But I'm going to bring back...
We need to bring up
I'm
something.
I'm going to bring
You need
back
to
the final
contribute,
part
George.
of the Holy Trinity. So I remember there was Blockbuster, but there were also like smaller independent like video stores.
Yeah. That's where I
there
got a
used
lot
to
of
be
my
one
PS2
in town.
games.
Have you ever been to Blockbuster?
Yes, when I was a kid.
Yeah, Blockbuster. Yeah.
Yeah.
But dude, there used to
I remember them.
be one like on the end of town. You guys remember where the Sweet Bay used to be?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was a recording. There was a
little video store at the end of that strip. Like
we had
way
one in
back
the town
day.
I grew up in, and that's where I got my games.
But like that's like where I first started getting into a lot of video games because like I'd get like dragged there by like my dad because like he loves videos and he's always like looking for like some new stuff to watch. And then I realized like, oh, they have video games, and I think like I want to say it was like Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, bro, we had a very similar childhood. I went to my video game rental store, Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper,
Spyro,
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Spyro the Spy Dragon.
Spyro.
Spy Dragon. What? No.
Which
Dragon?
Which Spyro game was the one that was on the GameCube?
I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have the GameCube. So
I did not have the GameCube either.
I remember the levels.
I know what you're talking about because that version was at one of my like.
That's the only Spyro I've ever played, and I loved it.
Of all things, I remember that one version of the game was at like my dentist's office when I was a kid. But no, the one game that I remember is I think it was just called Dawn of the Dragon. It was the one for the Wii, and it had co-op, and it had some of the most ridiculously hard QuickTime events in any game I've ever played.
Really?
For no reason.
that is funny.
Because the QuickTime events required you to like press the buttons and move the controller and the joystick. But if you were doing it in co-op, both of you had to do the same movement at the same time, or you'd automatically fail the QuickTime event.
Well,
And when you failed the QuickTime event, like it took out like a third of your health. So if you messed it up like 3 times in a row, just like any single action, you die and you have to do the whole boss fight over from the beginning.
wow.
Oh man,
Wow.
that's rough.
That is rough.
But it was fun and it was satisfying. And you had like a bunch of magical powers in that game. What's the other like franchise I'm thinking of? Let's see, Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Dexter.
Jack and Dexter, that was a good one.
Dude, I
am
played
not
that on the
familiar with that
PS.
Jack and
dude.
Dexter is cool. And
Not familiar with that one.
I'm gonna say this about Jack and Dexter. First game, very child friendly, kid friendly, lovable little kid characters, very fun. Second game, rated T for teen.
Ooh,
I think
Dark,
big
gritty
kids.
dystopia.
I think that was the first one
Jack
I played.
main character gets shot into the future.
Yeah,
He didn't talk at all in the first game.
This was the first one I played.
Jack's first words ever spoken after being tortured in like a experiment chamber for months, for like a year, I think, was, "I'm going to kill that bastard." That was his first words ever after being in a kid's game. It was amazing, bro. It was amazing.
Dude, that's what I just miss about like the era that we got to live through as kids. Because sometimes
2000s games were great.
games just surprise you sometimes for no reason.
Yeah.
Like their kids games ended up being like raunchy for no reason.
Oh, gotta love it. Gotta miss it.
Now, to transition this conversation, we're talking about Spyro. He's a dragon.
He is a dragon.
Dragons make fire. And speaking of fire,
Oh, okay. I see
You're
where
dropping
this
your
is
mixtape. Yes!
I see where this is
You
going.
finally did it.
Kendrick's new album
Oh boy.
just dropped. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I listened to it on the way here. I want you guys to go off on this. Who wants to go first?
Oh boy. Okay. I
know George has really been dying to talk about this.
I feel like we can get into a fun conversation about this because it's going to like devolve into like a 3-way like
Ooh,
combo
3-way.
combo
Okay.
here. But ever since last year when both Kanye West's Donda and Drake's Certified Lover Boy came out, I've been waiting for Kendrick's next album so I
Yeah.
could compare them.
Yeah.
Because we thought it was gonna come out the same year.
Yeah, because originally I do believe Kendrick Lamar did say it was going to come out last
Yeah,
year.
he did.
But
he did, definitely. For sure.
It dropped, and honestly, I haven't even finished it yet.
No.
No, I got sidetracked at work today, but I made it through like.
You've been talking about this thing so much. I finished it for you.
I know,
And then you didn't finish it.
dude, because like,
I bet you didn't even get to like some of the more polarizing tracks like Auntie Diaries or
I did not get to Auntie
or-
Diaries.
Dude, literally, the
Mama-
last
Mama, I
track
Sober?
is heart-wrenching.
Mother, I'm Sober.
Yeah.
Sober. That one's one of the best tracks, the outro. So I mean, we don't have to talk about those since George hasn't listened to it yet.
It's such a bummer.
But I'll say this about Mother I Sober. Probably that I've heard one of Kendrick's most personal tracks. It's real, it's raw. Probably
It hits you.
probably the hardest hitting song on the album.
Yeah.
I did notice that overall,
Yeah, it shook. That Mother I Sober shook me a bit listening to it.
so far though, from what I've heard, even though I haven't gotten to the later tracks yet, I probably listened to like 60% of the songs.
Let's talk about the controversy with the album.
The controversy with the album? Now, see,
Did you guys?
I live under a rock, so...
Did you guys listen to? Or you didn't listen to Auntie Diaries.
I did not listen to Auntie
You
Diaries.
did you pay attention to Auntie Diaries?
Yes, it's about the trans community.
Trans
It's about his personal
Okay, I did
experience
hear-
in
I
trans
did hear about
community
that.
and his family.
Kendrick dropped the F slur multiple times.
Multiple times. So
And
let me guess, people are getting mad at him about
People
that.
are upset about him but people are
They're not getting the point,
They're,
though.
they're
then.
I'd say, but they're unlike usual. This is the most understanding I've seen Twitter in a while. Because they
What has
understand,
Musk done to Twitter?
They understand the messaging of
And
the
the
song
intent.
and the intent of the song.
Yeah.
Right.
But they're wondering, did he really have to drop the F slur
that
that
many
many
times,
times?
yeah.
It's Kendrick Lamar, though. I mean,
No, I'm not-
He's gonna do what he wants. He's gonna get his message across.
Here's the thing, and I'm not seeing many people wanting to cancel Kendrick. They're just poking fun and like, I mean, some people are seriously criticizing, and I'm sure a lot of people do want to seriously cancel Kendrick. Are they going to do it? No. Kendrick cemented himself as a legend. If they can't cancel Kanye, they can't cancel Kendrick, and they're not going to cancel Kendrick, and they're not going to cancel Kanye. So, Kanye got banned from the Grammys, and he still won 2. You know.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Another one of the more powerful songs, I think, on the track, especially towards the end as he kind of picks up vocally and the string ensemble comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Very potent song, and
Are we
something I was not aware of.
referring to Mother I'm Sober or Mother I Sober? Are we talking?
I guess it applies to both Mother I'm Sober
And Auntie Diaries?
and Auntie Diaries,
Yeah.
yeah. Didn't care for the opener. Or no.
The second song.
I liked the opener. The second song, N95,
Yeah.
I liked it at first.
It was alright.
I liked it at first. It kind of fizzled out, though.
That's
There's only one song on the album that I actually skipped because I just had enough of it. I think it was Crown, the one where it's just his voice and a piano. I like it when artists, when they get to basics. Like, I like acoustic covers and all that stuff. I like that it was just him and a piano, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just a lot of the same. I couldn't get through the whole song without being like, okay, I've gotten it all in the first 30 seconds. That's the only song I skipped. I won't listen to that one again.
I got it. All right, so I'll say this. In 95, that's going to be one of the bigger songs from the album.
For sure.
He's already dropped the music video for it. That was one of the only music videos he's dropped for it so far. Another thing I'll say is, I forgot to bring this up when I brought the controversy. There was another controversial point in the album. Can you guys guess what it is?
Uh-huh.
I forget the name of the song, but the Toxic Argument.
No, that people will like that song.
That I did like that
I
song.
liked that one.
I like that song.
Wasn't that when we cried together?
Yeah, we cried
We
together.
cried together.
I
Yeah.
love that one, dude.
What was the other controversy?
There's a controversial point. You guys may know about it, may not understand why once I say it. You may not completely. I'm sure George might once I say it. I'll just say it. Kodak Black is all over this album.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm not. I've heard a little bit about this. I'm a little more familiar probably than you expected, but I can't comment on it because I'm not in the know enough to actually
So
talk about this.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the audience knows we're Floridians, right?
Yes, they
They
do.
do.
Okay,
We
so-
revealed that last episode. They don't know where in Florida though.
Gotcha. Okay, so anybody in Florida knows who Kodak Black is.
Yeah.
they like either like maybe the older people doesn't, but if you're under
my mom knows who he is.
if you're under 30, you know who Kodak Black is. And Kodak Black he's a Florida legend. Most people from all walks of life, not most, but people from all walks of life listen to Kodak here. There are people that you would not expect to listen to him. You'll get in their car and they'll throw on some Kodak. Now, that's not to excuse the fact that he has done very questionable things. I think...
Yeah, I'm not actually aware of Kodak's history. I didn't know he was from Florida, in all honesty.
What? Bro.
Yeah. So, Kodak, the biggest thing that people have problems with him is he allegedly, I think actually he got tried guilty for it, so I don't even think I can say allegedly, but I don't know if that happened for sure, so I'm just going to say allegedly just in case.
I'll look it up as you're saying it.
He sexually assaulted a girl on live stream.
What?
On live stream.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah. And I don't know the complete story behind it. I'm not sure, because usually if something like that was so in your face and really happened, people would be less receptive to him, but he's still like in everything. Like Bruno Mars did a song with him after the fact.
Oh my god. In January 2017, Kodak Black broadcast an Instagram live video of himself in a Washington, D.C. hotel room with several other men while a lone woman performed oral sex on them.
So Kodak, the reason why Kodak's currently out right now anyways, is because he went back to jail for a gun charge. When he was at Rolling Loud, he got arrested. Trump actually, what do they call that? Pardoned him.
That was hysterical when that happened.
Donald
dude.
Trump pardoned Kodak Black.
Okay, I remember that.
And wasn't there...
And Lil Wayne.
What was it also? Wasn't there also the whole situation with... Oh, God.
I thought he got
was it
A$AP Rocky out of
Yup,
Sweden.
yup.
He got him out of Swedish prison.
Yeah, because of Kim K and Kanye.
The whole... Like, that's just ridiculous to me. The fact that, like, those
Trump-
were headlines I woke
Trump's
up to
a
few
hip-hop
years
homie,
ago.
I guess.
Yeah.
I never
crazy.
Like, as a kid, I never thought I'd see the day when I'm reading the headline, Donald Trump saves A$AP
Donald
Rocky.
Trump bringing Little Pump on stage during one of his rallies.
He did?
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, I still think
He mispronounced his name though. He called him Little Pimp.
you could literally have shown... Like, if we were to go back in time to, like,
What?
the early 2010s...
Does Trump listen to these guys, you think?
I don't think
Is
so.
he a fan?
I don't think so.
If we were to go back to, like, 2012 with video of Kanye West's meeting at the White House with Trump, people would think it's a Saturday Night Live skit.
Yes.
Nobody would believe
Well,
it.
nobody thought Donald Trump was going to be the president, and he was for 4 years. So.
Yeah. And right now he's more popular than the current president.
Yeah, no. There's a big possibility he may win when he runs again.
Oh, no. At this point in time, I'm, like, almost 100% certain that the next election cycle, Trump's going to be reelected.
DeSantis with the vice president role.
Especially if DeSantis goes into it. Ooh, this is interesting. We're evolving. This is your first political talk.
Oh.
If DeSantis runs for vice president, I think there's a very good chance Trump is going to win. If it was held right now, he would definitely win.
You guys don't understand. They're definitely getting the Florida vote if DeSantis runs.
Oh my God,
For some
yeah.
reason, people in Florida absolutely love
I know,
DeSantis.
he's so controversial, but literally, maybe it's the county we live in. Granted. You know, take it with a grain of salt.
Reason.
But everybody, I swear to God, everyone that I know loves Ron DeSantis. Everyone at work, at least. Every single person. Not one person is like, oh, I don't like that guy. I know like one person who doesn't like him. Like in our friend group, I know. You know? But the guy is just uber popular despite his nationwide perceived outrage.
Yeah.
If he runs VP with Trump in 2024, there's... if they don't win that, maybe there is election fraud, man. Because I don't know. I don't know. That's a strong ticket for them.
And honestly, it also boils down to I have no idea like who else the Democrats could run at all.
It's interesting because they could just choose someone else for the primary. They don't have to go with the sitting president.
But they won't.
No, they'll stick with them.
They'll stick with Biden.
And if they go with Kamala Harris, they're definitely going to lose because she's very unpopular.
Yeah.
And then what are they going to do? Go with someone like
I wouldn't vote for her.
even more like ridiculously progressive?
I think Bernie should make a comeback.
But Bernie's...
The thing about Bernie Here's the thing, Bernie. You know,
burn. I'm feeling the burn.
love him or hate him, he's definitely passionate about what he believes in. He's not winning the president. He's not. He's not winning. He's too radical.
He's too out there.
He's too out there.
Okay.
Okay. Well, okay.
Kendrick.
Let me back to Kendrick.
Anyway, I just brought up the fact that Kodak was all over the album, and it was
You're right.
Controversial.
We were getting cosign for a second there, but I'm putting that on a T-shirt.
Dude, honestly, like, I don't really care because, like, this might sound messed up, but I don't think that, like, Kodak did anything, like, too over the top.
From what I know, I don't, like I said, I don't know what the
I can't comment on it.
I don't know what that whole case was, but I feel like Bruno Mars wouldn't have made a track with him afterwards if it was really that bad.
And dude, you just know that, like,
I think it's just modern day outrage culture. Now, if I'm wrong, I apologize, but
that's why I'm not commenting on this, because I'd be lying if I said that I knew anything about what you're talking about right now.
But you know what? I think he pled either no contest or he pled guilty for it just to get it out of the way. And his punishment was like he can't enter that state anymore. He had to pay like a little fine, and he had to apologize to the girl on a Zoom call. That was his punishment. So
must not have been that bad.
That's right. Either he has the best lawyers in the world or whatever, because R. Kelly is way more popular than Kodak, and he got put in jail for a long time.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
Oh my god, dude. Now I'm gonna have to get sidetracked. I can't believe. I thank Sam for this, but back when R. Kelly did that one interview where he tried to defend himself.
God,
what network was that on?
ABC, I think. Yeah.
But first, you showed me the Saturday Night Live skit.
The Saturday Night Live skit for that is so funny
because it's almost exactly shot for shot what actually happened.
And if you see the SNL skit first, you would not think there is no way this is realistic, but it really is.
Like, I have never seen a man sit down in an interview chair and with a straight face even say, yeah, I may have like over 100 sexual assault allegations levied against me, but all of them are lying to ruin my image. And even though there's video proof of me committing crimes, that's doctored too. And y'all are just trying to put an innocent man down.
I'm fighting for my life.
I'm fighting for my life. I gave you how many years? 20 years of my career. Y'all killing me with this shit. Robert?
He ain't gonna be flying anymore.
Nah, that man needs to. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a fan of his music, but that man needs to stay in jail. I'll continue rocking his music while he stays rotting in jail. You know what I'm saying?
And Kendrick mentioned this in the album, in one song, talking about cancel culture and fake feminists and like. Or no, it was in
We Cry Together.
Yeah.
That I'm not sure what his point with that was. But to be fair, I don't think he was arguing from his point. I think that was just for the story. I think that was an old hurt Kendrick, and I think the point of the song is to say that he's trying to heal past that. So I don't think anything he says in that song you could put on Kendrick. But I think that argument's kind of dumb. I think you could still think someone is in the wrong and still like their music. I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. You can still like their music. I mean, I don't necessarily think John Lennon was that great of a guy, but he was a Beatle. So, there's that.
And who's a bad guy is all perspective. There's some people who think secular music is bad, so.
And there's people who think that Christian music is bad because it doesn't sound good.
Yeah, right.
But real quick, just a quick thing I want to mention about We Cry Together. Am I the only person that thought the female artist was Rico Nasty?
Yeah, no, she sounded like Rico Nasty. It was Taylor Page though, right?
Yeah, Taylor Page.
She sounds like Rico
I thought that was Rico Nasty.
I did not think it was Rico Nasty.
No?
Really?
No.
It sounded like Rico Nasty to me. And here's the thing, I was like, I didn't know Rico Nasty could spit like this. I was like, but then I looked, I was like, oh, it's Taylor Page. That being said, she killed that performance.
She did.
Yeah.
Not only did she deliver good bars,
Great acting.
but the acting was great. When she was like got
The hoarseness in her voice.
strain, I thought she was actually breaking down on the mic for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick had some good delivery too, but I think.
But he was still a rapper.
I think she still honestly. I think she stole that song.
Dude,
She
the,
did.
the whole segment in the song when she's like, "Give me my fucking keys,"
Give me my keys, bro.
just so good.
There's so much emotion in it.
It
I
literally
bet she'd
felt
be a
like
good actor.
It
Yeah.
felt like I was watching a domestic violence incident happen
Especially when
in
you
front
hear
of my eyes.
there was so much to that. You started hearing like things fall on the ground, like maybe dishes, and you started hearing chairs being moved around pretty violently. I was like, I felt uncomfortable listening to that.
I liked one motif I liked throughout the album was the use of tap dancing throughout it to show him like putting on a show for everybody, kind of.
So, did you guys pay much attention to the cover? Because I kind of want to talk about the cover. I think the cover was really good.
The cover?
Yes.
I did pay attention.
And I think the cover had to. Can you pull up the cover and show it to Sam?
Yeah.
So I think the cover has.
I didn't analyze it much.
Has a lot to do with what is going on in his career, right? So Kendrick is coming back to the rap game after 5 years. He's a family man now.
Is that actually like his wife?
I think so. I could be wrong. I think that is his kid and his wife. But if you pay attention, he has on the crown of thorns.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So like,
So
Because he'll even perceived as a savior. of
yeah,
rap.
people perceive him as the savior of rap. But he's saying, listen, you perceive me as the savior of rap, but I'm a family man. I've been a family man for a while now. And I think that's what he's trying to show. I also think that's why we got one of his most personal albums to date. And, you know, I think that really shows how... Because he made one of the most personal albums that he's ever made, and people are on Twitter calling it mid. Because it's not as over the top as his old albums are. But I don't think... Kendrick's not in the same headspace as he used to be. He's in a completely different headspace.
No artist
now.
can be in the same headspace after they've been making music for, 12 years?
And no, he's
14
he's been
years?
gone for 5 years?
yeah.
He's been gone for 5 years.
Of course he's not in the same headspace. He's older.
You know, family, having kids will change you for sure.
But where...
At least after having kids, he can still make a good album, unlike Chance the Rapper.
But where, ultimately, do you put Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers in Kendrick Lamar's discography? Where does it rank?
I'm pulling up the whole discography.
Is it his best ever?
So
Is it his worst ever?
I don't think
Is
so.
it middle of the road?
I don't think it's his best.
me and
I don't think it's his best
me
either.
and Sam, I think everybody can agree it's probably not his best. I think To Pimp a Butterfly is probably his best.
Okay.
However, T-Pab is literally like a masterpiece of a hip-hop album, so...
I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
I agree
Yeah,
with
it
you
really
guys.
doesn't. And Good Kid, Mad City and To Pimp a Butterfly are both, like, my favorite albums.
I know that Good Kid, Mad City is definitely probably my favorite Kendrick album. If I can definitely say To Pimp a Butterfly is better.
I agree with George. I actually did enjoy Good Kid, Mad City better, but I
replay those tracks on the
I
daily.
can tell objectively To Pimp a Butterfly is like more art.
It's his magnum
It's his
opus.
magnum opus. I can
Yeah.
tell for sure. Kind of like how I can tell My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is Kanye's best album, but my favorite Kanye album is Graduation. You know, it's like you can tell when something is better versus what your favorite is.
Mm-hmm.
Section 80 was good. I actually listened to Section 80 for the first time last year. I'm not sure if Section 80 is official album.
Yeah, it is.
It is? Okay.
I like Section 80 as well.
I haven't actually listened to Section 80, believe it or
Yeah,
not.
you might want to go give that a listen to. Cause
Yeah.
it
worth it.
predates Good Kid, Mad City, so
Yeah.
I'd check it out.
I think the only album I haven't listened to is Kendrick's very first one,
Which one was that again?
Overly Dedicated.
Overly Dedicated. No, I haven't listened to that one either.
And then, of course, there's Damn.
Damn, that's
I don't like Damn very much.
I'm gonna be honest. Damn, there was a lot of radio hits, but I didn't like it as much as To Pimp a Butterfly and Good Kid, Mad City or Section 80. And that being said, I think this new album might be as good or even may edge Damn a little bit.
I
think
think
it probably is
I think
better
it's a
than
little
Damn.
better than Damn
Because
personally.
I feel like, now I know that, like, Kendrick did speak about, like, personal, like, issues and, like, whatnot, and he, like, spoke from the heart in, like, both albums, and it's kind of hard to, like, explain or, like, quantify or qualify this type of stuff, but I feel like Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was more, like, emotional.
Yeah.
It was, like, more just, like, straight from, like, the soul with no, like, flourish or, like, no, like, added anything.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't trying to make anything that was, like, hype. Like, I could be wrong, because, again, I haven't finished listening to the album because I'm a fake fan. But there hasn't been, like, a single track I've heard so far that I'm like, yeah, if I was at, like, a party, I would expect this to be playing.
Mm-hmm.
I think he tried doing that with I-95 or N95. My bad.
I-95.
I-95.
Which to
And
to
then
this
He
day,
did it with I-75.
I can't go into any sort of, like, I don't know, shopping mall, bowling alley, nightclub, just a party at some friend's place without hearing, like, fucking Humble come on.
Yeah.
And I like the song, but I'm so fucking sick and tired of it. It's like every once in a while there's a song that you like the song, but it plays so much that you hate it. Same thing happened when Juice WRLD made Lucid Dreams. That shit played.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I listened to that song a lot when it first came out, Lucid Dreams.
I don't listen to it anymore.
By the time it got popular, I was already tired of hearing it, to be honest. I think personally my favorite track is Father Time on Mr. Morale. Father Time. That's the one where he talks about his father
Yeah.
being a little bit like the whole classic fatherly, like, tough love, and how that can affect a young man growing up in this world. And some people think that's traditionally tough love is how a father needs to treat his son. Some people strongly disagree with that. I'm a little bit on the fence on the issue.
I'm a little middle in the road of it.
I'm on because tough love is reality.
It strengthens you,
It strengthens
but
you.
you need to be careful not to overdo it and traumatize the child.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you don't, like, there are some people, like, especially if your father is like a ex basketball or football player. There are some fathers that are like, okay, from birth, my son, it's decided he's gonna play sports growing up all of their life.
It's kind of like choosing your life for you, determining it. Yeah.
And I think those are the young men that get it the hardest, especially if they turn out they don't like the sport. Yeah, I think they're dealing.
Imagine
with it worse.
the self doubt and the questioning of, who am I?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm grateful that my parents are very open with me. My dad always told me growing up, be a pharmacist. They make good money. And I always told him, I don't want to be a pharmacist. That does not sound interesting at all to me. And that's pretty much the extent that always went. So I'm grateful for that. Sometimes almost I wish that maybe my parents were a bit harsher on me. Just because my life was easy growing up. I didn't have many traumas or trials to go through. I feel like maybe I should have had some more, tough love to kind of mold me into a stronger person.
Yeah.
I'm happy where I am now, but I've had to grow and do that myself, as opposed to kind of being nurtured into that, sort of. So I'm kind of in the middle of the road on that.
No, literally,
Like, I was, like, spanked a few times as a kid, and I have no problem with it. I don't have any trauma about that.
I agree with Sam wholeheartedly, because the same thing happened with me, but for me, it's even better, because Sam at least eventually ended up with a younger sibling. I'm an only child, and as most people will tell you, when folks only have one kid, that kid usually ends up being spoiled.
Oh, I was an only child for 12 years until we adopted my sister. Yeah, I was spoiled.
But I've been spoiled the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, my parents always made so many exceptions for me, even when, like, I messed up, and they probably should have, like, actually punished me. And my parents never really, like, followed through on anything. Like, I remember, like, I pretty much flunked a semester in high school. And my dad, like, threatened that he'd, like, smash my Xbox into a billion pieces.
I've been there, bro.
But he didn't actually do it. And sometimes I wonder if overall I would have ended up, like, a better person.
If he had, maybe?
If he had. Because, like, I never really had a moment where I had, like, a tough wake-up call.
Yeah, I never had that. It was always just
either. People were saying, like, eventually, like, one of these days, man, like,
that's like
you're gonna get it.
That's the story of my high school experience. I'll take care of it one of these days. What were you like in school, Jarick?
I was gonna give my little rundown real quick. And this is how deep you gotta get into psychology when you start talking about a Kendrick album, because it all connects.
Thank you so much, Kendrick. Now we're all talking about our vulnerabilities in high school.
So, I did terrible in middle school. I'm not even gonna lie. I did terrible in middle school. That was when I was most addicted to video games. So, coming into high school, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop playing video games. I didn't get the newest generation of console. It came at the end of 8th grade for me, and I just decided I wasn't going to get the newest generation console. I was going to literally focus on schoolwork.
I just want to add on, speaking of newest generation of consoles, I didn't get a PS4 until 2020.
I didn't get a PS4 until like 2018. But, so, that being said, I remember coming into high school really optimistic. I don't think I fixed the problems within myself. I thought it was video games. It was definitely just procrastination as a whole, because I immediately found another thing to occupy my time, which was mindlessly clicking through YouTube videos for hours on end. And
that's my vice now.
That's always been my vice.
So, literally, I did so bad my freshman and sophomore year that towards the end of my sophomore year, our guidance counselor took me aside and was like, dude, literally, you're only halfway through school, but if you keep on going this rate, you're not going to pass. You got two options. Either you can relocate to a different school, and you guys know which school this is. It's the school a lot of people go to sit there and sit and breathe and get A's.
Yeah.
And people graduate early from going there. And there's like, we can put you in there for a year, and then you can come back your senior year and graduate. Or you can just apply yourself. You're going to need to get at least all B's while you've been getting all D's, or you're not going to pass. So I said, you know what? I don't want to go to that place. I don't know anybody there. The kids that are there scare me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try hard. My junior year, bro, I nailed it. A's and B's all year.
Good for you.
And fear is a powerful motivator.
And then my senior year, I went to a technical center where if you get a grade in one period, it's the same throughout the period. So I got all I got 2 semesters was all C's, and then 2 was all B's. So I graduated with like a 2.5 GPA overall.
I actually graduated with like a 3.4, I think. I don't know how I managed that. Dude, honestly,
I graduated with like similar, like a 3.4, 3.5. But for me, it's specifically because the weighting for honors and AP is so heavily stacked. So like, even like a D in an AP class would be like a C in a regular class, and like basically everything's upshifted a grade. So when I was getting like all C's in like honors classes, it was all B's when it shouldn't have been. And it helped that, like, back in middle school, I did do okay, because back then stuff was still, like, manageable enough for me that even without studying, I could just coast through it, because, like, yeah, it's, like, easy enough. I was never, like, a straight A student or anything. I want to put that out there. But what really sucks for me is that I was always in the classes with the kids who were straight A students. And some of them were, like, close friends of mine.
Yeah.
And, of course, my parents would always, like, compare me to the other smart kids. And right now, it's funny, because I look at, like, where I'm at in life. And it's not as far along as I would have liked It's about as far as I would have expected me to get.
Honestly, I feel like I'm doing better than I expected. Especially with how I was in high school. I had no motivation in high school. Straight addiction to video games the whole way through. My senior year, I iconically did not do any homework at all. Not exaggerating. I did not do any homework.
I
Still passed somehow.
I don't think I had any like prior notion to what I was gonna be like out of high school. I knew I was gonna probably. I knew I didn't want to go to college, at least not away. And hell, it's 4 years after graduating, and I still haven't even looked into going to college. I kind of want to, but also it's kind of a big commitment if you only kind of want to do it. You know?
Yeah.
Well, that's a thing. That's a good thing I think about community colleges. Is they're relatively affordable. I haven't had to take out any loans. I've paid for my college all out of my own pocket, and you can take like 2 online classes and just do work. I mean, you can with 2 online classes, you can get all the work done like in an afternoon, once a week. It's not a huge commitment. I feel like that's what I've been sticking with because I'm actually finishing up my last summer class. I'm taking a marketing class right now to get my associate's degree. And then I will be joining the Coast Guard later this year. Mm-hmm. And I'll get into that in further episodes. I don't want us to mope about our high school experiences for the rest of the episode because who the hell wants to listen to that?
Yeah, right.
But I'm looking forward to that for multiple reasons, one of which is they pay for your education. So I'll be able to get a bachelor's, and who knows? I want to test myself because I am stronger than I was in high school. I want to see if I can be the first person in my family history to get a doctorate. I don't know what I'll get it in.
I also kind of.
I haven't decided, but I want to be the first.
If I do go to college, mark my words. If I do go to college, I'm getting a doctorate. It's either go big or go home for me.
I don't really care. Honestly. Like, you can take your fancy little degrees and documents, like, if it's...
Oh, like your one that's hanging up over there?
That's an associate's degree from the
Well, I don't have that yet.
I don't have that either. Fancy pants. Big brain.
Like, hopefully I end up with just, like, a bachelor's
Mr.
degree.
Big Stepper.
And then...
Bachelor's degree in what? General studies?
Right now...
In associates.
Right now I'm going for computer systems.
Computer systems.
I'm trying to get signed back up for college, but the process has been a logistical nightmare.
I've heard.
I want to talk about how, for the most part, I think that, like, the whole, like, collector's mentality is so fucking ridiculous most of the time that it boggles my mind. Like, I'm sure if you guys look up on the top shelf there, not you guys watching from the camera, you can't see it, but Sam and Jarick can. You'll notice that I have a bunch of, like, Funko Pops.
Yes.
And you'll notice that they're not in the stupid fucking boxes. I don't know why, but it pisses me off, and I see this all the time. I see it when I look at, like, cosplayers I follow on, like, TikTok and Instagram. I see it when I see people doing, like, YouTube reviews. Almost anyone who has Funko Pops leaves them in the fucking case, stacks them up, like, wall to wall, or puts them in, like, a trophy case, because they're like, the value is going to inflate. Like...
Everything's inflating.
Like, yeah, sure. That I get, like, why things go up in value. It's because, like, of scarcity and all of that. I know how economic principles work. But I'm buying these cool...
Yeah, he has an associate's degree.
Shut up. I'm buying these cool things because they look cool. I'm not going to leave it in the fucking box so it can take up more room.
I guess it depends why you get into collecting. That being said, if we're talking about cards and collectibles... I actually have I kind of want to start my own card collecting / card game.
Your own card game?
Yes, and this is the pitch for it. All right.
Make sure to copyright and trademark this. Don't any of you steal this from Jarick.
You guys can fucking steal it. I promise you, what I have constructed in my mind is 1,000 times better than anything your little pea brain could think of. Okay.
Oh.
That's not anybody who was not thinking about stealing mine. You guys have... Anyone who thought about not stealing my shit, you guys...
Big brain.
Big brain. Anyone who did, yeah, you got a pea brain.
2 IQ.
If you think you can live up to what I got brewing. Alright? That being said, Mecha. You get player cards. Those are the guys who are piloting the mecha. Each of them has different stats, etc., etc. You get a weapon, and you get a mech card, and the stats all play off each other. Like there can be a multiplier, and then for each thing, and then etc., etc. And then also the world you're playing on or the map you're playing on that has like environmental effects on it as well. So that I want to do lore for the characters, for the pilots, like they do in like Overwatch. You know what I'm saying? That's how I envision this thing.
Dude, that'd be pretty cool.
That's how I envision it. And
I can picture that on a table. I play that.
And I'm making it. Now that you said, I'll probably copyright it soon because I think I actually might go for it. I think it would be not an easy thing to produce, but a slightly easier thing to produce than like making my own video game when I know nothing about programming.
Just like base visualizing like a bunch of different like mecha series that I like and trying to mix and match them is like hilarious to me. Because I'm essentially imagining like Shinji from Evangelion piloting Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann.
Yo.
Like on planet Namek as
What?
it's exploding.
Oh man.
I don't know what they're talking about.
I'm imagining the one mech from that one penguin anime. You ever see that one? There's a parody of a penguin, like of a mecha anime where the penguins had like these weird like bulging like erections, and that was like the tail.
What?
That was like their tail, and it was like a parody anime. That shit was hilarious. I don't remember what it's called.
Penguin boners.
They were like penguin men. Yes, those are the guys right there. They had tails on their crotches. Those are tails.
Kansen Robo Dama Dollar.
Dama dollar.
And in the way that they powered the mech was, I think the pilot had to do something dirty to like the other female pilot and it powered up the mech.
Oh my god.
Wait a minute, so you're telling me that Darling and the Franks ripped off this shitty penguin anime?
I don't know, maybe. I guess when you put it that way, kind of. But Darling of the Franks, and honestly,
What is this?
you guys have never seen that one? That's a classic. That's a classic.
What the fuck is this?
All right, what was the name of the anime?
What is this?
If you're not seeing the picture,
Come on, get focus.
what's the picture? Is it?
It is like a dozen like creepy like Slender Man looking penguin dudes with raging boners.
No, that's not boners. That's their tail. They made it very clear.
It's their tails.
That's their tail.
They had front tails. Yes.
I've never seen it. Their beaks are on their forehead.
What?
This right here, this beats Evangelion. This one beats
Attack on Titan.
Gurren Lagann. This is top.
The only anime I know.
This
The
is-
Last Airbender.
I'm glad
This
that
is top.
technically Sam said Attack on Titan when we were talking about mechas, because if you think about it, Attack on Titan is basically just a mecha.
I've watched Sword Art Online.
Oh, buddy.
The first season of Attack on Titan.
Yes, the worst one.
Like 4 other shows, I've seen like 2 episodes, so I'll combine that into being one.
You know.
And then Avatar: The Last Airbender, if you want to count that, because I watched Nickelodeon as a kid.
We'll barely count that.
You know.
So 3.5.
But man, you never said Kill la Kill,
Never heard of it.
Space Dandy,
What?
Cowboy Bebop.
Oh,
Boba
Jo-
Boba Bobo Bo,
what?
Bobo Bobo
Bobo
Bobo
Bobo
Bobo
Bobo.
Bo 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 bo
Bobo 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 Bobo.
bo 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 bo.
I'm pulling this up so you know. you probably think we're fucking.
It's so bo 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 bo.
I believe so.
Yeah, Boba Bo Bo Boba Boba Bo. There he is. There's Boba 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 Bo.
What?
Bro, that is what people think all anime is, right there.
You're making me
This
think
series
that's
was
what.
hilarious, dude.
Okay, and I'm seeing JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, so I've seen 4.5 anime.
You saw part 1 of JoJo's
I've
Bizarre
seen
Adventure.
like
Dude, you
the
watch
first 3
JoJo's?
parts.
You watched all of Stardust Crusaders.
Did you?
No.
Wait.
Then you haven't seen the 3 parts.
Wait, George.
There's like 40 episodes.
I need to ask George this.
There's like 100 at this point.
I need to ask George this, and I just got a weird sense of deja vu. But I need to.
Yes.
I need to ask George this. Did you ever think that JoJo was gonna get as popular as it has now? With TikTok,
George introduced me to it.
With TikTok kind of adopting it into its culture, it's literally JoJo is all
One of the most
over
popular.
TikTok.
It's one of the most popular like manga anime like in the world now, and like I know that it's always been popular.
It used
in
to be
Japan.
like, but it used to be like a cult following, cult classic.
It's one of those series where like in its home country of Japan, it always has been
Yeah,
popular.
it was very popular in Japan. Over in America,
But here
it
in the
was more of
States,
a niche
I remember
thing.
like hearing like I'd be watching like one YouTube video online and someone would make like an offhanded like comment about like JoJo's, or I'd talk to like one of my friends who was like really deep into fucking anime, and he'd be like, yeah dude, like I read like Diamond is Unbreakable, and I'd be like, oh what's that dude? Because like for the longest time JoJo's didn't have like a proper anime adaptation. The manga started releasing in the 80s, and we didn't get a proper anime adaptation until 2012. I mean, we did get the OVAs in like the 90s, 2000s. I forget when the OVAs were, but they only covered part 3 and they cut out like half of the content.
Excuse me. What's an OVA?
It stands for original video animation.
Yeah, it's like not completely with the main season. Sometimes it's canon, sometimes it's not.
So
Sometimes
it's
like
just a
almost
random
movie at the end of the
animated
series.
concoction.
It's usually not a movie. It's usually like
it's anything
three,
that's not a
three
part of like a
episodes.
syndicated like broadcasted episode schedule or a movie.
For example, an OVA of Dragon Ball Z was when they introduced Vegeta's brother into the fray.
Oh my god, I remember Vegeta's brother.
And people will sit there and they'll argue.
Tarble?
They'll
Yeah.
argue day and night whether or not it was canon or not. And then maybe sometime in the main series they'll shoot off one line which cements it as being canon or something like that.
Dude, there's a higher odds that OVA is canon than like any of the Dragon Ball Z movies are canon.
I think they confirmed that it was canon. Tarble is in fact a real person.
But they've been doing that a lot lately. They did that same shit with
I
Demon
hope all the
Slayer.
anime listeners are listening to this episode.
You're right.
Demon
'Cause
Slayer did the same thing with
I'm
Mugen
lost.
Train. They released it as the movie, and the movie was hype. And then season 2 was announced, and I was hype. And they're like, okay, the first half of season 2 is going to be Mugen Train again.
Bro, Sam,
And I was like, why?
Sam, you need to get your nerd culture up right now.
We're gonna force you to watch anime.
Because right now you're sounding more so like a geek than a nerd, my friend.
Ooh.
You're sounding more like a geek than a nerd, my friend. That's all I gotta
no.
say.
Oh no. All right, well you two got to take me hostage and force me to watch anime then.
You know, for
You give me dinner too while you're at. I'm starving.
Those who don't know, and I'm sure none of you would have any reason to know this. Me and Sam, we go way back.
We do. I've known Jarick like 4 years longer than I've known George.
That is true.
We had a science class
6th grade.
in 6th grade.
Mr. Comet, right?
Mr. Comet.
Was it Comet or Comment?
It was Comet. Like a
shooting
It worked
star.
good for Earth and space science because that's what he taught. But yeah, I don't know. We were cool, but I will admit I used to pick on Sam a lot. I used to call him Samantha.
So here's the thing that you have to know about me. Up until I like basically turned 18,
We're getting lore.
I was pretty much a completely different person.
We're getting friend lore.
So picture me now, but I'm like 60, 70 pounds heavier.
Yeah, he's changed a lot since high school.
I always wore like the same 3 outfits that consisted of a graphic printed
I miss those outfits.
animal t-shirt that either had like wolves on it or like dolphins or sea turtles, and then I would wear like cargo shorts.
They were
like I was
always-
Trainer Joey from Pokemon.
They were always
like rust colored or
they were
beige.
khaki
he
colored cargo
always
shorts.
had on cargo shorts.
And I only owned one pair of shoes, and they were Nike running shoes.
Did you have one of those wolf shirts?
Yes,
I did.
He
I
had
remember
he
seeing
had a
him wear
wolf shirt.
those.
He had 2 wolves howling at the moon. He had like 3 dolphins, and then he had like 3 sea turtles.
I never once directly interacted with George in high school, but I knew he exists because this motherfucker was hard to miss.
Hard to look.
Hard to look. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that may have applied a little bit.
He was hard.
But
What?
he was hard to miss.
Yeah.
Because I was a little bit shorter at the time. I'm like 5'10", 5'11" now. When I remember seeing him, I was like 5'8", 5'9". And I just remember seeing this kid who was like chubby, but also freakishly tall in my eyes. He had his backpack, if I remember, like as tight as you could fucking tie it. And then I just remember, and it would make his shirt ride up a little bit. And I was just remember thinking, this is one goofy motherfucker.
Yeah, nowadays, I literally feel like we're talking about a different person at this point.
Yeah.
Because, I'm just going to make, a quick comparison off the top of my head. So, again, we've established I owned, 3 shirts repeated when I was, a kid. 2, maybe 3 pairs of shorts. I think I might have also had a black pair. And I had 1 pair of shoes.
I'm looking at 17 right now, and I know he has more in his closet.
I have the high-end shoes in the closet now.
It's crazy because as far as girls go, I got 0 play in high school.
Me too. All 3 of us.
I get 0 play now.
Wait.
I had one girl that was kind of interested in me. We never really got kicked off because she actually had a boyfriend at the time. But I don't feel bad about it because her boyfriend was 23 and she was 15.
Oh no.
So I don't feel bad about it. At the time I remember thinking, man, why she dated a 23-year-old? I didn't even think about it in the sense of wow, that's really weird. I thought damn, girls always older guys, fuck her. That's what I'm thinking in my head, but I'm thinking oh, you were a victim.
I can definitely say that back when I was in high school, I definitely had that nice guy mentality.
And I did too. To
the classic nice guy.
I'm so thankful to this day that I didn't fall down the wrong rabbit hole and end up as an incel. Because it could have happened.
I did come close to being an incel. I did browse the subreddit at one point.
I didn't get to that point. I always stopped. I would always reach a point where I'd be like, why am I single? And then I'd think about it logically, and I'd be like, okay, I get it, but still, can't I just get lucky for
I get
once?
it.
Speaking of incels, I've been consuming a lot of black pill content recently.
Oh,
are you guys aware of the black pill?
Yes.
I'm aware of the red pill.
So and for anyone who don't know, let me give you the rundown of the pills. The blue pill, it's all from the Matrix. The blue pill, Neo stays in the Matrix and he's unaware of what the world's actually
and he lives his
outside,
fake blissful life
outside of the Matrix. The red pill is supposed to be quote unquote
you wake
up and you understand the real world. In context of what we're talking about, it used to be right-leaning stuff. So if you took the red pill, you were right-wing, you were against SJW culture. The meaning's actually flipped now, and now it has everything to do with dating. So now it's quote-unquote understanding female nature.
Yeah.
That's the red pill as it is right now.
Understanding female nature.
Yes.
Maybe I should just ask my girlfriend.
Which is
Hi, Hannah.
Which is
Hypergatory.
Hyperbole? Yeah, right. Which is I guess women will never date down, which isn't true because I know plenty of dudes who have girlfriends that are not better looking than them. I've been with girls that are better looking than me, so just from that, I feel
looks definitely aren't everything.
So it's not everything. But here's the thing about the black pill. So the black pill is the belief that looks are literally everything. So it's if you are ugly, if you're hard to look at ugly, you are going to have the worst life ever. Girls aren't going to like you. You're going to be mistreated at work.
You might not even get a job in the first place.
You might not even get a job in the first place. Honestly, I listen to people who, if you go on YouTube, it's a whole rabbit hole. There are people who tell their life stories and they're black pilled. And if it's true, some of these guys have had really messed up lives and I feel bad for them. I feel like a lot of them have mental issues and it's really not as bad as they think it is. Not to gaslight anybody, but I know people who are not the most attractive who have fine lives or even have, a girlfriend.
Yeah, kidding.
Or whatnot.
No, I'm kidding. I'm hot shit.
Dude, I have seen some fucked up posts and threads back in the day from black pilled incels. I saw one argument that straight up said that certain dudes were just genetically fucked, and that they needed to either start using gene manipulation.
Oh no!
To reconfigure themselves to be more ideal.
This is not going down.
Or the government had to set up a system where every man is given one woman for free, and she has to do everything he says.
It gets real bad. And so
I didn't expect you to say that.
Yeah. No, dude, incels literally believe that like women are like evil and they're devils and they're like subhuman.
No, let me just say, not all incels are black pilled. Not all black pillers are incels. There are people who are black pilled who are not involuntarily celibate, like they've had relationships or whatever like that. But they commingle very tightly together. And I will say that at the very nature, there are plenty of people who are involuntarily celibate, but they're not incels. You know, incels are more of a mindset. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Than anything. So, I mean, it's kind of interesting to look at it from an outside perspective. I wish I could help some of these people sometimes. I know that you can't save them all, but I will say that now more than ever, especially if you live in a place like Florida, I'd say looks matter a decent amount. I don't think it's the end all be all, but if you go to like Miami or somewhere like that, it really depends where you go. If you go to Miami like that, you're like
there's more competition.
More competition. You're gonna need you're gonna need a lot of money to live in Miami. You're gonna need looks to get. If you want like a real attractive girl or something like that, of course, you would have to be attractive too, for the most part. I feel like it's
either that or you would really have to hit like the Hail Mary.
I feel like it's unfair for these guys who are like not that attractive to be all like, oh, I need a girl who's like more attractive than me. It's like, bro, like, you know, I think it's unfair. If they're not willing to date a girl that's less attractive than them, why would they expect a woman to date them?
The fact that some of these dudes have literally like been asked out by women before that are like of a similar like level of attractiveness to
and they're
them.
like, no,
and they're like,
I can't stoop to
and they're
this.
like, no, because like she's too ugly. But like, bro, it's like you in a mirror.
They'll
what
say,
are you
they'll,
on about?
They'll say they're not my looks match, which means they're like oh, they're uglier than me.
They're ugly.
You know,
like I'm allowed to be ugly, but like my significant other has to be like a model.
The funny thing to me is that I feel like incels would be the types to be like, why are women so complicated? You know, why can't things be simpler? When the reality is that they're making it way too complicated for themselves, making up these terms and categorizing people and things in these ways that you just don't need to do that. Women are people too, you know, just talk to them.
You also have to realize,
just because they have a different chromosome doesn't mean that they're an alien.
There are different, like,
we're all made women initially.
There are different schools of thought in incel communities. And
different schools of thought. Oh, you got Plato and Aristotle and Socrates.
You got some of the more extremists.
Yeah. But they're, like, you said that some of them are like, oh, women are so complicated. But some of them literally think that, like,
they know how women work.
That I was actually going to say some of them think that, like, women's brains are, like, smaller than guys. And they literally, like, are not capable of comprehending.
It's kind of works into what I was saying. Like, some people literally think they know how women work. And that's why they're bitter. Because they can't fall into the line of how women work. Which is...
Or even better, they're like, women aren't listening to me, even though I know what's best for them.
Yeah, real manipulative shit.
Oh my
God. If you guys want to listen to a black pillar who is not as, like, harsh on women, he's really more so just kind of harsh on himself, which is kind of sad. It's this guy named DBDR. He has a bunch of little story times where he, like, there's a gameplay and he tells a story about his life. The way he tells it is actually kind of funny and entertaining. But yeah, it's basically just all him complaining about his life. And it's like, well, as messed up as it sounds, it's kind of like a confidence booster. It's like, my life may suck, but at least I'm not doing as bad as this guy.
So I was going to ask, so why do you listen to this content? So it's kind of to kind of like self-gratification almost?
Yeah, you know, sometimes it's hard to put your life into perspective when you're not understanding what's going on in other people's lives.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Trying to like get some
It could always be worse.
get some groundwork to see like where am I compared to other people.
It could always be worse. If you ever have had sexual intercourse with somebody, there are people out there who would literally kill to just be in your shoes.
That's a really
That is so sad.
thought.
That is a terrifying thought. You could literally have anything else going in your life, but as long as you had a girlfriend, people would like kill to be in your situation.
Bro, and like having a girlfriend or even having sex isn't like the end all be all, and it
Of
doesn't
course
fix all
not.
your other
Of
problems.
course
It's not the most unbelievable
Of course not.
God smacking thing ever.
No, it is. It's like impossible.
And you know what? Most of these guys...
It's a relationship. Like with a friend, only it's a woman and you can have fun with them.
Hey, dude, it's 2022. You don't have to like specify heteronormative relationships in these parts.
My bad.
You know,
bad.
Like we could be in a throuple for all anyone knows. But then again, Jarick is also Hannah.
I'm a
I am
xenomorph.
him. So wait.
Love you, honey.
So this is my number one thing. If anyone is listening and you are an incel...
No one's listening.
If you're an incel...
Not anymore.
And you are black-pilled, right? Or something that I will say is, if you don't fix your mental health first, you're going to get into a relationship, maybe possibly one day, and you're going to realize that you're still going to be just as depressed and hate life just as much, except now you got responsibility of you having to live life for another person as well.
Yeah, I want to say this to any potential incels or incels in the making who are listening to this. And this is going to apply forever, for years after this is uploaded. And I'm going to look in the camera and say this too. As a guy who very nearly did become an incel when I was in high school, and I've seen what y'all are like, these problems are not... I don't want to gaslight you. These problems are not likely as severe as you think. And if you just work on yourself, even just a little bit, you would be amazed at what you can do.
We were all involuntarily celibate at one point.
We were all... I'll say it at least. I was a loser in high school, man. I was not doing well. Now I am objectively doing better than most people my age. It's all about mindset. It's really about mindset. You know?
No, it's all about how you adapted to
I can't say anything more than no...
grind.
I can't say any more that no one else has said before in a better way, because I'm not very good at articulating my words.
Yeah.
But don't become an incel. There are better ways.
I'm just gonna say relationships are not the end all be all, and really, like, I've been there. I got into my like a thing with a girl for the first time in a long time, and I thought to myself, like, this past year has actually been the best I've ever been off with as far as being with women goes. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm still just as depressed as I was beforehand. So it really doesn't help you that much.
Yeah.
So all it does is add extra things you gotta worry about. You gotta fix yourself within first, and then kind of work on outer things.
You have to be happy. One thing that I learned, and the reason why I'm grateful to have my girlfriend, is, and I think part of the reason that we met each other and we've worked together, is you have to understand that you have to be happy with yourself before you can be happy with another person in your life. You can't have someone else fix your problems for you.
Thanks.
If you're looking for a relationship with someone, man, I'm turning into a therapist. If you're looking for a relationship with someone hoping that it's going to solve any problems that you have, or it's going to make you feel happier,
It won't.
It won't. Maybe you'll feel happier because you have another person in your life, so you're not as lonely if
But it won't fix the
you struggle with
underlying
loneliness. But no one can fix you but yourself.
Yeah,
And I believe that for most anything.
I mean, it all boils down to the age-old saying: you really have to learn to love yourself before you're gonna be fully capable of like accepting love from anyone else.
And I couldn't be with my
and giving
girlfriend
it to
until
anyone
I
else.
came to learn that. And when you figure that out, you become a lot more confident. And if you're really worried about being attractive to anyone, confidence is attractive. You gotta have confidence.
And even if you're not actually confident, you just gotta fake it till you make it, and then eventually one
gotta
day
be-
you'll wake up and you won't be faking it anymore.
You gotta be really
Good advice, George.
You gotta be really
Yeah.
good at faking it though. You can't be too much because you're just gonna come off as an asshole. George,
Yeah.
do you have any advice for any incellers or black pillars that may be watching?
Bro, you think that I'm gonna give advice that's gonna help these people? Basically, all I have to say is, I mean, ditto what these guys have said. But please, I know this is difficult to do, but if you can stop yourself from hyperfixating on like whatever avenue it is you're going down, whether you're like getting blackpilled, whether you're just focused on the fact that like, oh, like women don't want me, or they only go for like attractive guys, or like this or that, or like yada yada, like try to focus on like other things in your life that you can change immediately, and don't just focus on the one thing that's making your life miserable, because it's just going to make you more miserable if that's all you're giving your attention to.
That's good advice.
Well said.
That's well said.
Well said. Man, this episode has been a roller coaster. Gee, this is what you get when you listen to Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Kendrick, listen to what you did to us, bro.
I'd also like to point out that George and I were saying that our goal for this episode was to be 45 minutes. This is most certainly like an hour and a half long now.
But it's okay,
But it's okay.
because next week's episode is going to be a short one.
10 minutes. I think we can end it here. This is getting very, very long.
Okay. This has been a fun one, though.
Yeah, I've been enjoying this. It's good to have you on, Jared.
It was a
good
pleasure.
to
You're-
be
you're-
on.
you're a great addition
It
to
was a
it.
pleasure to be on. When I heard you guys talking about it, I was like, oh, damn, I wish I was there for that conversation because I had something to add. But I'm just glad I was here for this episode.
Yeah, well, you're welcome back in the future whenever.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Do you want to plug out any of your socials or anything, Jarick?
Not yet. Next time I'm on, I may have something to plug, though. So
Got
be
it.
ready for
Okay.
that.
All right, well, then it's time for us to self-plug. Go ahead and give us a follow on Twitter at the Clickmates. Click_mates, I think it is.
It doesn't matter. It's some variation of the
It's some
Clickmates.
if you search the Clickmates or Clickmates, you should be able to see us. It's the same artwork as is the podcast cover that you all
But we
seen.
implore you, if you could follow us on Twitter, on TikTok, and on Instagram, that would be greatly appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Help us grow our numbers, get the word out, expand the viewer base.
Yes.
We've been enjoying doing this these last few weeks. It's so fun, and like
It really is a great time.
we're just looking forward to the future. Hopefully a really, really bright future with a big money payout at the end and a TV deal. And then we're gonna get a fucking movie.
on CNN Plus. Ooh, I wanted to talk about that. CNN Plus. Damn, that's too bad.
Drink your juice.
Get 8 hours of sleep.
Don't be an incel.
Don't be an incel.
Listen to Kendrick's new album.
Yes, listen to his new album.
Don't
Tell us what you thought of it.
Don't do what Spider-Man wouldn't do.
Don't sign up for Gamefly. I think they've been out of business for a while.
But thank you guys so much for listening.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who supported us from day one,
You're a
we
real
love
one.
you guys. You are the one. You are number one. As always, I have been George.
I may be Sam.
He is Sam. We are the Clickmates.
Oh, we're forgetting one.
I'm Hannah.
And he is Hannah.
And he is Hannah.
Have a good night. Good
Or
morning.
evening, morning,
or
whatever.
afternoon. Guten Morgen and Tschüss. I've been learning German.
Arrivederci.
Peace.
I don't speak Chinese. Bye-bye.
That was the most prolonged sign off ever, bro.